us about your latest book, Jane.
Yes, my latest book is called Love in the Time of Zanzibar, and it's basically the story of two women who lived in the 19th century in Zanzibar. I mean, obviously, Saida Salma's story, she wrote memoirs of an Arabian princess from Zanzibar in 1888, probably became one of the first, certainly the first Omani woman to write her autobiography. And there's a lot of information in the book, so I was able to use that, of course. But her mother's story, there's probably only a paragraph actually written about Jaffer. So I had to, as you say, blend fact with fiction. I had to use my imagination. I've used a lot of artistic license, which I hope people forgive me for, in that, you know, some of it might not be completely correct, but it's, to the best of my knowledge, it is correct. And I'm looking at the emotional impact certain events and experiences that these two women went through. I like to think that by blending fact and fiction, I've sort of at least whetted people's appetite to explore and find out more. There is, you know, obviously if you go to Zanzibar, there's quite a bit of knowledge. In fact, the museum there has a whole room devoted to Saida Salma and her story. There are also letters home, which she sent home from Germany, where she eventually... I think my own experience was similar in one respect, of course, that yes, I came to an alien culture, completely different in terms of culture, language, climate, religion. You know, it was a completely different world to, you know, growing up in London as I had done. And so yes, it was very different, but one has to remember that Oman is a very tolerant country. It's very international, and you know, one can go to the supermarket and find things from home. You know, it's a completely different. It's not a monocultural situation at all. Whereas going back all those years to, you know, we're talking about 1866 when Saida Salma left Zanzibar and made her way to Germany. And of course it would have been totally different in those days and much more difficult to fit in. You know, she would had to have spoken German, for example. She couldn't have got by like I get by with my English here, and still don't speak Arabic properly, which is my shame. But I could relate to it because I'd been through something, but certainly my experience was nothing like as difficult as her life was, or as Jilferdin's life was.